Hello everyone, I am Subhalakshmi. Welcome all of you to this channel. In this video, I am going to discuss about 20 multiple choice question on the topic of structure, reproduction and life cycle of Polysiphonia, Coleochaete and Fucus. So before we get into the discussion, let's start from a beautiful message. Flexibility is strength in motion, a balance of resilience and adaptability. So flexibility is the ability to bend without breaking. True tolerance makes us flexible. When we are flexible, we can adjust to anything and anyone and maintain well-being. Okay, see the first question. What is the order of the algae Polysiphonia? Option A, Floridiales. Option B, Ceramiales. Option C, Polysiphonales. Option D, Rhodomelales. Here, the correct answer is option B, that is Ceramiales. We know Polysiphonia is a genus of red algae which belongs to the order Ceramiales. It is the systematic position of Polysiphonia, that is division Rhodophyta, class Rhodophyceae, subclass Floridae, order Ceramiales, family Rhodomelaceae and the genus is Polysiphonia. Okay, so here the correct answer is option B, that is the order of the algae Polysiphonia is Ceramiales. Then next question, fruiting body in Coleochaete is called option A, ascocarp, option B, basidiocarp, option C, cremocarp, option D, spermocarp. Here the correct answer is option D, that is spermocarp. We know Coleochaete is a genus of parenchymatous green algae. During the post-fertilization changes of Coleochaete, it means after fertilization, gradually the zygote becomes enlarged and secrete a thick wall around itself. Then the neighboring cell of the oogonium gets stimulated and form pseudoparenchymatous covering around it. Okay. Then the oogonium with the pseudoparenchymatous sheath is called spermocarp. Okay. So it is the structure of spermocarp. Generally it is red or reddish brown in color and it remains dormant throughout the winter. Okay. And a spermocarp is the fruiting body of the Coleochaete. So here the correct answer is option D. Then see the other option, that is ascocarp. We know ascocarp is the fruiting body of Ascomycetes fungus. Then basidiocarp. Basidiocarp is the fruiting body of Basidiomycetes fungus. Then in the option C, that is cremocarp. Cremocarp is the dry dehiscent fruit which is the characteristic of the plant of the family Apiaceae. Okay. Then next question, common name of Fucus. Option A, rockweed. Option B, sea ghost. Option C, gulfweed. Option D, stone rot. Here the correct answer is option A, that is rockweed. We know Fucus is a genus of brown algae and it is a type of seaweed commonly found in the intertidal zones of rocky seashores almost throughout the world. So the common name of the Fucus is rockweed. Then see the other option, that is sea ghost. We know sea ghost is the common name of a dinoflagellate, that is Noctiluca. Then gulfweed, it is the common name of the brown algae Sargassum. Then stone rot is the common name of the algae Chara. Okay. But here the common name of the Fucus is rockweed. Then question number 4. Asexual reproduction in Polysiphonia takes place by option A, diploid non-motile tetraspores, option B, haploid motile carpospores, option C, haploid non-motile tetraspores, option D, diploid non-motile carpospores. We know in Polysiphonia, during sexual reproduction, the union between male and female gamete forms the diploid nucleus inside the carpogonium. Further development of diploid nucleus forms the diploid carposporophyte. Later, carpospores are formed by mitotic division of carposporangium. So the carpospores are diploid. Then the carpospore on direct germination forms the diploid tetrasporophytic plant. Then during asexual reproduction, the diploid nucleus of tetrasporangium undergoes meiosis and forms tetraspores, right? Then the mature tetraspores are liberated by the rupturing the wall of the sporangium, and on germination they develop gametophytic plant of the Polysiphonia, right? So asexual reproduction in Polysiphonia takes place by tetraspores, and tetraspores are haploid and non-motile. So here the correct answer is option C. Then question number 5. Name one species of Coleochaete in which heterotrichous habit is well represented. Option A. Coleochaete scutata. Option B. Coleochaete pulvinata. Option C. Coleochaete divergens. Option D. Coleochaete soluta. Here the correct answer is option B, that is Coleochaete pulvinata. What is heterotrichous habit? We know it is a type of plant growth where a plant produces two types of system, that is prostate and erect system. Heterotrichous. Hetero means different and trichous means filament. So the thallus of Coleochaete pulvinata is typically heterotrichous, that is consist of prostate and erect system. Okay. Then see the other option, that is Coleochaete scutata and also Coleochaete soluta. The thallus is discoid. Why? Because here only the prostate system is present and projecting system disappeared. So in Coleochaete scutata and in Coleochaete soluta, the thallus is discoid type. Okay. Then in the option C, that is Coleochaete divergens. Here only prostate system present and occasionally erect branches may be arise. Okay. But in Coleochaete pulvinata, the thallus is typically heterotrichous. Okay. Then question number 6. Transverse section of the flattened front of Fucus shows three regions. The outermost part of this region is called option A meristoderm, option B ectoderm, option C protoderm, option D endoderm. Here the correct answer is option A, that is meristoderm. When you see the transverse section of the flattened front of the Fucus, it shows the distribution of the tissue into three regions. The outermost part is called meristoderm or palisade layer. It consists of a single layer of cell containing the plastids. So, this limiting surface layer of photosynthetic cells is called the palisade layer or meristoderm. Okay. Then the second region, that is cortex. It is internal to the meristoderm and it is a broad zone of thin-walled polygonal parenchymatous cells constituting the cortex, right? Then the third region, that is medulla. Within the cortex, in the center of the front is the medulla. It consists of a loose tangled mass of elongated cells called the medullary hyphae. Okay. But here the outermost part is called the meristoderm. Then question number 7. Which species of Polysiphonia found on the fronds of Ascophylum nodosum as semi-parasite? Option A Polysiphonia variegata, option B Polysiphonia fastigiata, option C Polysiphonia orseolata, option D Polysiphonia ferulacea. Here the correct answer is option B, that is Polysiphonia fastigiata. We know Ascophylum nodosum is a large common cold water seaweed or brown algae. Then Polysiphonia fastigiata. It is a type of red algae that often grows as an epiphyte on these brown algae, drawing some nutrients from them. Hence, the classification as a semi-parasite. Okay, so Polysiphonia fastigiata are known to be semi-parasitic on specific brown algae, that is Ascophylum nodosum. Then next question, Coleochaete belongs to which order? Option A, Nemalionales. Option B, Chlorococcales. Option C, Conjugales. Option D, Chaetophorales. Here the correct answer is option D, that is Chaetophorales. According to the traditional classification, Coleochaete is categorized under the order Chaetophorales, belonging to the class Chlorophyceae with the division Chlorophyta. Okay. So here the correct answer is option D. Then next question, incorrect statement about fucus reproduction. Option A, asexual reproduction occurs by means of spores. No. Remember, in fucus, asexual reproduction by spores is entirely absent. So, the reproduction takes place by vegetative and sexual methods only. So, here the option A is the correct one. Why? Because it is the incorrect statement. Then in the option B, that is reproduction takes place by vegetative and sexual methods only. Yes, it is a correct statement. Then vegetatively fucus multiplies by the method of fragmentation. It is also a correct statement. Then in the last option, that is sexual reproduction in fucus is oogamous type. It is also a correct statement. But here the option A, that is asexual reproduction occurs by means of spore, it is the incorrect statement. Okay. Then next question, which species of Polysiphonia grown as epiphytically on Gelidium pusillum? Option A, Polysiphonia platycarpa. Option B, Polysiphonia variegata. Option C, Polysiphonia ferulacea. Option D, Polysiphonia fastigiata. Here the correct answer is option C, that is Polysiphonia ferulacea. We know Gelidium is a genus of red algae, and the species, that is Polysiphonia ferulacea, grown as epiphytically on Gelidium pusillum. Okay, so here the correct answer is option C. Then question number 11. A characteristic feature of the vegetative cells in Coleochaete is the presence of option A, cup-shaped receptacles. Option B, N-shaped bristles. Option C, collar-shaped chloroplast. Option D, all. Here the correct answer is option B. When we see the cell structure of the Coleochaete, the characteristic feature of the vegetative cell is the presence of N-shaped bristle. Okay. Certain cell in all the thalli bear a single bristles. These cells are called seta cells. In the older thalli, the bristles may be broken off. Scientist Wesley studied the development of the bristle. According to him, the development of the bristle start with the formation of a pore in the outer wall of the cell. Okay. Then see the other option, that is cup-shaped receptacles. Cup-shaped receptacles generally seen in the brown algae, for example Fucus, not in Coleochaete. Okay. Then in the option C, that is collar-shaped chloroplast. It is also an incorrect one. Why? Because the chloroplast in Coleochaete is large, parietal and laminate with irregular shape, not collar shaped. Okay. So here the correct answer is option B. Next question, sex organ of fucus are developed within roughly spherical cavities termed as option A, receptacles. Option B, air bladders. Option C, endocyte. Option D, conceptacles. Here the correct answer is option D, that is conceptacles. So the conceptacles are reproductive cavities in fucus that contain male and female reproductive organs. And each conceptacle opens to the exterior by means of a pore called ostiole. Okay, so here the correct answer is option D. Then see the other option, that is receptacle. The receptacle is a swollen conical structure, and each conceptacle lies in the superficial part of the medullary zone of the receptacle, right? Then in the option B, that is air bladder. In Fucus, there are small bladder-like expansion filled with air. These swollen vesicles are called air bladders. The air bladder act as float to lift the forked branches towards the surface and thus keep the plant upright in water. Then in the option C, that is endocyte. The innermost layer of the oogonial and antheridial wall in Fucus is called the endocyte. Okay, but here the sex organ of Fucus are developed within the roughly spherical cavity termed as the conceptacle. Then question number 13, fruiting body in Polysiphonia is called. Option A cystocarp, option B spermocarp, option C cremocarp, option D ascocarp. Here the correct answer is option A, that is cystocarp. We know in Polysiphonia the cystocarp is a fruiting structure that produces carpospores, right? And it is urn-shaped and has a protective envelope. Okay, then how it forms? Remember, placental cell, gonymoblast filament and carposporangia are covered by many vegetative filaments and form an urn-shaped structure called the cystocarp. And remember, the outer covering of the cystocarp is called the pericarp. Okay, so here the correct answer is option A. Then see the other option, that is spermocarp. We know spermocarp is the fruiting body of Coleochaete. Then in the option C, that is cremocarp. Cremocarp is a type of dry dehiscent fruit which is the characteristic of plant of the family Apiaceae, right? Then in the option D, that is ascocarp. We know ascocarp is the fruiting body of Ascomycetes fungus. Okay. Then next question, which is true regarding type of life cycle? Option A, that is Fucus haplontic. No, in Fucus the life cycle is diplontic type. In this type of life cycle, the plant body is sporophyte and develops sex organs. Then the sex organ produce gametes by meiosis. Okay, the gamete only represents the gametophytic stage. The gametes undergo fertilization and form the zygote. Okay, the zygote does not undergo meiosis and give rise to the new sporophytic plant body. So the life cycle of Fucus is diplontic type. Then in the option B, that is Coleochaete haplobiontic. No, in Coleochaete the life cycle is not haplobiontic, it is haplontic type of life cycle. When you see the life cycle of Coleochaete, the plant body is gametophyte and the sporophyte stage is represented only by the zygote. The gametophytic plant develops haploid gametes in the gametangium. The fusion between the gametes results the formation of the zygote, the only diploid stage, that is the sporophytic phase of the life cycle. The zygote undergoes meiotic division and forms the meiozospore. These meiozospore develop into haploid plants. Okay, so here in Coleochaete the life cycle is haplontic type. Then in the option C, that is Polysiphonia, the life cycle is diplobiontic. Yes, it is correct because diplobiontic type of life cycle seen in Polysiphonia. What is diplobiontic type? In this type, there is one gametophytic stage, right, and two sporophytic phase indicate its triphasic nature, and the sporophytic phase is more elaborate and persists for long duration than the gametophyte, that is diplobiontic type. Okay, this type of life cycle is found in Polysiphonia. In Polysiphonia, the gametophytic phase is represented by two types of gametophytic plant, that is male and female plant. Those bear spermatangium and carpogonium respectively. Later, the spermatangium and carpogonium develop sperm and egg. The male and female gamete, that is sperm and egg, undergo fusion and form the zygote. The zygote develops into a diploid carposporophytic phase. The diploid carpospores are formed in the carposporophyte. Then the carpospore on direct germination forms the diploid tetrasporophytic plant. Then during asexual reproduction, the diploid nucleus of the tetrasporangium undergoes meiosis and forms tetraspores. Then the mature tetraspores are liberated by the rupturing of the wall of the sporangium, and on germination they develop gametophytic plant of Polysiphonia. So, three stages are clearly seen in the life cycle of Polysiphonia, that is the asexual diploid tetrasporophytic stage, then haploid gametophytic stage, and the diploid carposporophytic stage. So, it is triphasic nature and diplobiontic type. Okay. Then in the last option, that is mammalian, that is diplobiontic, no. The life cycle in mammalian and in batrachospermum is haplobiontic type, not diplobiontic type. Diplobiontic type seen in Polysiphonia. Okay. Then see what is haplobiontic type. In this type, the gametophytic phase is elaborate, dominant and persist for long time than the sporophytic phase, which is represented only by the zygote, right? So in haplobiontic type, the two successive haploid generation are interrupted only by diploid zygotic stage, indicate its triphasic nature. Okay, and this type of life cycle is found in the batrachospermum and in also mammalian. Okay, so in regarding the type of life cycle, option C is the correct answer, right? Then question number 15, the spermocarp of Coleochaete produces option A meiospore, option B spermatozoids, option C oospores, option D mitospores. We know during the post-fertilization stage in Coleochaete, the spermocarp consisting of the oogonium with its investment or sheath, right? Oogonium contain oospore. During favorable condition, the nucleus divides by meiosis followed by cytokinesis to produce 4 haploid cell. Again, this cell divide by mitosis to form 8 cells. By further division of the octant to produce 16 or 32 haploid wedge-shaped cells are formed within the oospore. The protoplast of each cell metamorphoses into a biflagellate meiospore, also called gonozoospore. Okay, so here the correct answer is option A. Then question number 16, the antherozoid in Fucus is A. Option A, large pear-shaped terminally biflagellate cell. Option B, minute ovoid multiflagellate structure. Option C, large terminally uniflagellate structure. Then option D, minute slightly elongated pear-shaped structure. Here the correct answer is option D. In Fucus, the sperm is a minute, slightly elongated, pear-shaped, laterally biflagellate cell with the anterior end pointed. Out of the two unequal flagella, the shorter is pantognaematic, means it is the tinsel type, is directed forward, and the longer one, that is the acronematic or whiplash type, is directed backward. Okay, so here the correct answer is option D. Then next question, carpospores and tetraspores in Polysiphonia are respectively option A polyploid and haploid, option B diploid and haploid, option C haploid and diploid, option D triploid and diploid. Here the correct answer is option B, that is diploid and haploid. Carpospores are diploid and tetraspores are haploid in Polysiphonia. We know in Polysiphonia, during sexual reproduction, the union between the male and female gamete forms the diploid nucleus inside the carpogonium. Further development of the diploid nucleus forms the diploid carposporophyte. Later, the carpospores are formed by the mitotic division of the carposporangium. So, the carpospores are diploid, right? Then the carpospore on direct germination forms the diploid tetrasporophytic plant. Then during asexual reproduction, the diploid nucleus of the tetrasporangium undergoes meiosis and forms tetraspores. Then the mature tetraspores are liberated by the rupturing the wall of the sporangium, and on germination they develop gametophytic plant of Polysiphonia. So tetraspores are haploid. Okay, so here the correct answer is option B. Then question number 18. Reduction division in fucus takes place during option A gametogenesis, option B formation of sex organ, option C germination of zygote, option D growth of thallus. Here the correct answer is option B, that is gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means the process of the production of the gamete, where haploid cells are produced from the diploid cells, right? So in the life cycle of fucus, reduction division or meiosis takes place during the production of the gamete. Okay, so here the correct answer is option A. Then next question, most of the species of Coleochaete are option A marine, option B epizoic, option C epiphytic, option D terrestrial. Here the correct answer is option C, that is epiphytic. We know Coleochaete is a genus of green algae. They generally grow epiphytically on the leaves and stems of aquatic plant. Also occur attached to the fronds of lemna and under surface of the floating leaves of nymphia and nilombo or surface of other algae, right? So here the correct answer is option C. Then last question, which species of Polysiphonia grown as epiphytically on laminaria? Option A Polysiphonia palticarpa, option B Polysiphonia orseolata, option C Polysiphonia fastigiata, option D Polysiphonia variegata. Here the correct answer is option B, that is Polysiphonia orseolata, which grown as epiphytically on the laminaria. Okay. And we know Polysiphonia fastigiata found on the fronds of a brown seaweed, that is Ascophylum nodosum. And remember Polysiphonia variegata found on the roots of mangroves plant. Okay, but here Polysiphonia orseolata, which grown as epiphytically on the laminaria, option B is the correct answer. So in this video, I completed all the 20 multiple choice questions with their proper explanation. Okay, see you in the next video. Thank you.